trial of former President Donald Trump is an ominous warning that we are all future defendants, all of us. This is not hyperbole, and it is not an overstatement. It is, unfortunately, the state of affairs in 2024. The rule of law, the Constitution, the foundational principles of this country have all been tossed out. In the political bloodlust to tear down one ideology to install another one by itself and forever. And believe me, if they can do this to a billionaire former president, what chance would you ever have when the government comes calling? As I've been talking about lately, one of the dark omens on the horizon can be found just north of our border in the nation of Canada. Under the iron-fisted rule of Justin Trudeau, pastors were jailed during the pandemic for holding Sunday services. Truckers were ripped from their rigs for protesting the vile assaults on liberty across Canada. Many remain jailed today, their bank accounts frozen, their freedom eliminated, and their futures stolen because they had the gall, they had the nerve to disagree with the government's radical anti-freedom agenda. In this country, that is exactly what the prosecution of Donald Trump represents. And complete and intentional departure from the rule of law, the mob rules. And the mob doesn't care how it gets what it wants as long as it gets it. They've demonstrated that they're willing to do whatever it takes. They will pack up pallets of documents, ship them to the former president's Mar-a-Lago home, and then raid the home as if he is a common criminal to search the very boxes of documents shipped there by other agents inside the government, and then proclaim that he has violated the National Archives rules, and worse, so much worse than that, he has piles of classified documents in his possession. And they claim that having those documents he was fully entitled to have as president is now illegal, and they hammer him with dozens of felonies. They will dredge up some crazy old windbag from New York City and claim she has been defamed when Donald Trump says not only did he not assault her in any way, especially sexually, but that he claims that she's nuts. And then they nail him for defaming her. I mean, under these rules, you're not allowed to call a liar, even if they are. In yet another case, they will ignore the statute of limitations, cobble together a case that suggests paying someone not to spread an ugly story about you is now a crime, but they can't say exactly what the crime is. And then they will parade an over-the-hill porn star out of the back room for the spectacle of it all to taint the jury, and then they will call the former president's lawyer to have him smear the man in court too. And all the time that this is going on, barred Donald Trump from speaking at all with a gag order, threatened him with getting tossed in jail if he violates the violation of free speech he is dealing with. If he violates the violation of free speech he's being dealt, he's the criminal. This is why on CNN, the far-left commentator and Joe Biden supporter, Fareed Zakaria, says the only reason Donald Trump is being prosecuted in New York is because his name is Donald Trump. Here it is again.
Meanwhile, Republicans seem to be uniting behind Trump. Whatever opposition he faced in the primaries has largely melted away. And the trials against him keep him in the spotlight, infuriate his base, who sees him as a martyr, and even may serve to make him the object of some sympathy among people in general who believe that his prosecutors are politically motivated. This happens to be true, in my opinion. I doubt the New York indictment would have been brought against a defendant whose name was not Donald Trump. A majority of Americans are skeptical that Trump will be able to get a fair trial, according to a CNN poll. And I haven't even mentioned Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Cornel West and Jill Stein, all of whom would probably take votes away from Biden.
All take votes away from Biden.